Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God it's Tuesday. All right. So let me let you know what's going on right now. I do not have everything set up. So that's part of the reason we're a few seconds late. So please bear with me. All right. And listen, I done already said all right 4 times, I believe. So that was something I watched in the last live stream. So I'm going to work on that tonight. I'm going to work on that tonight. So I restarted my computer before I did this live stream and everything went away. Everything. I don't have nothing open and ready to go because I restarted the computer. So that's what's going on. So let me just talk to you. You had an awesome day today. I hope you did. I did. I had a good day, even though you ain't asked. I had a good day today, even though what's going on now is a nightmare. But at this point, I'm used to it. If you've been tuning in, I'm kind of used to stuff going wrong at this point. So that's why I look so calm about it. So I'm getting my script together and we're going to throw this over here in the prompter so we can go ahead and get this show going. Okay. It still didn't work. So now it's over here in the prompter, but it's not right in the prompter. What did I tell you? Murphy's Law, boy. Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law. I am going to start doing live streams in the morning around noon because I know that this is going to be a different type of crowd in the morning. And I know that I do these live streams at night. So we're doing these live streams at night. Some people don't even know about the actual live streams because of how late I do them if they're people that participate in the stock market. And then YouTube isn't really promoting the live streams as tough as they were. And I think that was because I had that long wait screen on the beginning of the live streams. And people were seeing this long countdown and they was like, man, I'm not about to sit around and wait for this guy for 5 or 10 minutes. I got better things to do with my time. And they end up leaving. And I think that hurt me on the algorithm. And tonight ain't help because I don't have the stuff ready, which I'm working on right now. I'm still working on it. So what ended up happening, there's no spaces in here. I got to fix this. Put spaces for the prompter. I might be ready in less than a minute. It's loading up now. It's loading up now. It's loading up now. And usually the AI go too fast. And now it's going too slow. Boy, the way things play out in my life, I try to tell you, I need somebody to actually just walk around me all day with a camera so they can see what's been going on. So like today, when my wife was dropping my son off at school today, a lady ended up sideswiping her car. And she got and my wife has a white vehicle. So it's a long black mark up the side of her car now. And I was knocked out this morning when she called me to let me know it happened. So when I called her to find out, I was just glad it wasn't worse. She's okay. The lady is okay. But that doesn't change the fact that it happened. So this is why I say, despite what's going on in your life, you have to just keep pushing and moving forward. Like just right now with the prompter ain't ready. And then you don't want to just sit here because now then it'll be dead air during the live stream. You might as well just tell on yourself, hey man, I messed up. Just let them know, hey man, I messed up. Just bear with me. Let me figure this out. I'm human. We gonna get this going though. All right, I got it. Now I just need to make sure it's working. There we go. So let's just start from the top. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God it's Tuesday. Tonight, we are looking at ticker LEVI. You might know them better as Levi Strauss. Levi Strauss & Company was founded in 1853 by Levi Strauss, with the first dry goods store opening in San Francisco, California. Now they are an $8 billion publicly traded company in the apparel manufacturing industry in the consumer discretionary sector, and they are not listed in the S&P 500. Some of Levi Strauss's company competitors are Ralph Lauren, VF Corporation, and Under Armour. We're going to review Levi Strauss & Company's earnings, their website, and visit the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check out our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange down in the description. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. Let's go to the earnings highlights. Bam. There we go. Don't have this where it need to be. There we go. We got that. Yeah, we good. We good. Levi Strauss & Company, ticker symbol LEVI. The $7.56 billion company reported its first quarter fiscal 2026 earnings today. They have a 52-week high of $24.82, which took place on October 3rd, and a 52-week low of $12.17 that occurred April 9th, which is a trading range of $12.65, and they closed today at $19.71. Levi Strauss & Company earnings report beat on the top line and beat on the bottom line, as broad-based growth across regions and strong direct-to-consumer momentum fueled a double-digit revenue increase. They reported revenue of $1.74 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $1.65 billion. EPS was higher than the analyst and market expectations of 37 cents when they reported an adjusted EPS of 42 cents. Levi Strauss & Company reported a GAAP net income of $177 million, which is higher than $140 million net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 26.4%. So for the first fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 20.8% lower than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released after the market closed, followed by a 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time conference call. As far as guidance, management raised their full revenue and EPS outlook, citing accelerated growth, direct-to-consumer channel, and the women's category. That 52-week high of $24.82 that took place in October, compared to today's closing price of $19.71, represents a decline of 20.6% over a span of approximately 6 months. So if an investor invested $1,000 at that 52-week high, they would currently be seeing a loss of $206. All right, so let's talk about why we have the benefits of visiting these sites. We browse companies' websites and read descriptions with the goal of quickly finding answers to these three key questions. What does the company do? What goods and or services do they sell? And how important are those goods and services to their customers? To find those answers, we browse 4 areas on the company's website: their homepage for goods and or services, the About Us for the company vision and mission, careers, employee benefits and opportunities, investor relations for SEC filings, and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's stream are down in the description. Now let's go back to Levi Strauss Company's website. All right, let's go to their website. Look for the button, look for the button, look for the button. There we go. Okay. So, goods and services. Levi sell clothes, guys. It ain't hard to figure it out. They sell apparel. So we already know what the goods and services are, but we gonna browse the website. You can see what they got new that's coming into season. You know, we got spring around the corner. I don't know if that's what's going on here in Michigan, because I think I seen hail and snow yesterday where I was at. Was that yesterday? Man, listen. The weather been crazy. Like today lied to me. I went outside and I seen the sun blazing. It was super bright outside. And it was cold as it wanted to be. But the sun just had me confused. I just knew it was warm outside. And I came in the house and looked at the little temperature gauge on my computer. It was like, no, it's below 40 degrees right now. I said, wow. This is the shortest homepage I think I've ever seen with us looking at apparel. So we're done without having to click on anything. And this big section here at the bottom. Okay. So we are looking for company. So here's the About Us section. And remember, I told you I ain't have everything set up. So let me get my cursor going and just talk your head off, so it ain't no dead air going on while I'm getting this going. But yeah, wherever you are, I hope you dealing with some great weather, because I'm sure looking forward to some better weather up here. I can't stand it, guys. Ooh, I can't stand it. I love being here in Michigan, but I do not. Our weather is what do you call it? It's bipolar, man. It don't know what it want to do. I think the weather up here need its own calendar, so it'll know what it's supposed to be doing. All right, so company, I got my cursor on, so now you can see it. I believe I'm already zoomed in. Let me double check this. All right, now we at 150, so you can really see. So let's go to About Us, and then they have our value. So we're going to look at both of those places and see what we can find. Website moving kind of slow. I got to talk to you. Is this not a link? Because we've had that happen before too. Oh my gosh, there we go. All right, so that's Levi Strauss himself. Blue Eyes Man, something on there. Love them jeans. We love some jeans. Nice lady. Oh, I don't know what she doing over there. Is that Marilyn Monroe? I don't know who that is. Is she looking for something? Anyway, learn more. I like those colors. They got some nice colors in there. The jeans do pop with the gold thread. I like the gold thread on the jeans. So get in touch. All right, I ain't see much about like maybe I moved too fast. Do we have to click on there's career, so we know to go over here. So right there's the career section. Sustainability, learn more. Okay, I guess what we need to read is up in here to learn more about the company. So this talks about the history, talks about where Levi Strauss was from, the year that we talked about earlier. It mentions the location, which we talked about. And I guess it says he was over there during the gold rush, which is very interesting. So that's what drew him over to California. But then he ended up going into other things. All right. And then he was specializing in overalls, it looks like. So yeah, let's go back down to the bottom of the website and let's go to our values. Maybe we can find out. Look at this. Get that coupon off my screen. Our values. Okay, so yeah, this would be more so like the purpose, mission statement, and things like that. What we do is just as important as what we make. I'm seeing that right here. So this is the company's values, showing some pictures. They're talking about how they innovate. I'm reading this right here. So during the war, they had already stopped desegregation. So you can see a black gentleman right here working. You can see a black woman. I didn't know that about this company. So they're talking about LBGTQ. Did I say that right? Yeah. And equality. And that community will get you, boy. That community will get you. Well, my whole thing is, I just don't understand what your sexual preference have to do with some of this stuff. Like, do you want some jeans or not? I don't have to be like, I'm heterosexual. Give me some jeans. Like, just get you some jeans, man. Just go ahead and get them. I don't get it. But anyway, let's move on. So we looked at that. Now let's look at careers. All right. Y'all watch that all right and okay count tonight, because I don't want to go crazy like I had been doing yesterday. So we're going to try to tone down the A word and the okay word. And I slipped up the O word and the A word. We're going to tune that down, turn that down today. So we're looking at a rewarding career here. And I want to look for the benefits. Where are the benefits? He talking about internships. Okay, committed. There we go. All right. Beware of hiring scams. Boy, I know we got scams going on in the world right now, but somebody now they giving you fake jobs. I don't know what this means. I ain't never seen this. They got the disclaimer on here talking about people giving you fake jobs. Report a scam message on LinkedIn. This is crazy. And it must be bad for them to have it on their website warning you like, hey, we ain't hire you. That's crazy. All right. Well, I'm having fun tonight. I think why I'm having so much fun tonight, I done already ruined it at the beginning when the thing wasn't working. So I might as well just have some fun. Just have some fun. Okay. There we go. Who we are. We had to dig through all of this to get. So a company with a rich culture committed to a family of iconic brands. Okay. And then you can't scroll nowhere. It's just real quick. So it's taking a while to load this stuff. Oh, some nice looking ladies. This is who designed this site. They all over the place with this. Remember the lady earlier? They had them bending over years ago. It was in black and white. All right, so let's move on to investors. Did we skip anything? No, we didn't. It was just that the home page was really short. So let me zoom in right here. Yep, they had zoomed us out. So Levi trades on the New York Stock Exchange. Here's the stock information, but we want to specifically find the stock quote and the charts. So I'm gonna look at the top and see if I can find it. Maybe it's under financials. I don't see it. Can we click on this? Yes, we can. There we go, guys. So there's the stock information. There's the chart. Here's the stock quote. And here are some tools that they have on their website. So now that we've seen that, let's go back over here. Okay, let me go over here. Let me move this. I just slipped up and used that O word. I told you, boy, I was going crazy with it last time we did the stream. All right, so there go the all right, 2 for 2. Woo, back to what we talking about. All right, before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. Traders lose critical detail and advanced platform features on a mobile screen. So be advised, trading from a phone is usually the least effective way for managing assets. To see every detail, use a full trading platform and watch these streams on a computer or TV. Only use your phone as a last resort. Now let's look at the charts for Levi. Let me make sure I got this right over here, because I told you I had reset the computer. So it looks like it's good. So let me go ahead and bring you over. Here we go. Click on charts. Why is this moving so slow? And then it didn't even pull it up. So let's go analyze. LEVI. Go to charts. There we go. Now we're looking at the 1 year daily chart. As far as technicals, let's do the quick technical analysis before we get into the stock quote information. I'm going to say this is going to be zones, guys. This isn't going to be a flat out level. This is going to be zones, and it's a wide zone too. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the wrong tool. We're going to use the tool that draws the rectangle. Why is everything dragging? There we go. So we're going to use this. I'm going to make sure the snap is cut off. None. Apply. Okay. And I'm going to draw this zone here. That's not the tool. Click here. All right. I'm going to say the support and resistance zone is this area right here. And I know it's kind of wide, but it's because these prices in this range from left to right, let me take me off the screen, they come really close to it, or they come in real close to this area either at the bottom when it was resistance, and then they either drop in it or come close to it above it. Do you see that? Let me drag this over. So you have it where it tested this zone once, twice, 3 times, and then it broke through it, came back, fell in it, kind of came to the bottom, came back and tested the top of the zone here, tested it, dipped in it there, and then recovered. And then it broke through it, and now it's coming back out of it. So I'm not seeing this as a straight line. I'm seeing that as more of a zone. So this is going to be your support and resistance zone with Levi from what I'm seeing. That's my technical analysis on this. And the stock price, we are looking at a daily chart. It is trading above the 9-day simple moving average, but it's still trading below the 200-day simple moving average. So let me cut on my floating data box. That didn't work because it was moving too slow. So let me cut that on manually. And now we're going to read the stock quote for Levi today. So right here, Levi, ticker Levi, opened at $19.46. They had a high of $19.98 and a low of $19.39. And they closed today at $19.71, which was a trading range of 59 cents. And when we look at their volume, they traded 8.1 million shares today of this stock. And when we look at the volume rank percentile, this was actually very high volume for this stock. And I'm going to show you why. When we look over here at the labels that break down the volume, the average trading volume for this stock is 2.6 million shares a day. So now that we can put this in perspective, 8.1 is significantly higher than this. It's almost 4 times higher than this. So when we look at the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 4 of those days had higher volume than today. So my next level of resistance for this stock would be the 200-day simple movement average. That's what I see as far as technical analysis on this chart. So let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. I need to put this button on my stream deck. So that's what's happening. I don't have this button right, so I'm dancing to buy myself time to get over to the next thing I need to talk about. But here we go. Here we go. Community support. Support back to the community. I would appreciate it if you guys I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the channel, to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description as well as the ticker on the screen. Chat, okay. Now we're going to look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the S&P 500 index by tracking its performance. So let's go back to Thinkorswim and look at the SPY. So now that we're over at the SPY, we're going to type this into our symbol box, SPY, and there we go. And we can see, if you've been following, that SPY is still dancing up in this range we had drew. So today I'm going to go ahead and draw this shadow area. This is not going to be support and resistance this time. Let me zoom in. So I'm going to tell you why I put this here. This is just highlighting the trading range that I'm seeing when we're looking at this technical analysis. As we can see, today it had a low that kind of dipped this toe out of this support right here to test that support, and it recovered. It came back above it. It didn't actually touch or break below the 9-day simple moving average, this green line, but it did dip out of this range, this trading range we've been looking at. and it kind of closed right near the previous close on Monday, but it's still trading below this 200-day simple moving average. So that's our quick technical analysis on the SPY S&P 500 ETF. So let's go ahead and look at the ETF quote for this today. It took too long to open up, so let me manually cut this floating data box back on. I don't know why this system moving so slow today, but we gonna make it happen. All right, the SPY opened today at $656.65. They had a high of $659.61. They had a low of $651.06, and they closed today at $659.22, which was a trading range of $8.55. And when we look at the trading volume down here, they traded 69.9, almost 70 million shares of this ETF today. And when we go over and look at the volume labels, let me take me off the screen. Let me take this floating data box off because it's a distraction to me when we're looking at the volume. The average volume for the SPY is roughly 80,000 shares of this ETF is what's usually traded daily. And today, it traded about 70. So it traded about 10 million shares less than average. And when we look at the volume rank percentile, that was only 41.7%. And when we look at the days above and the days below, out of the most recent 252 trading days, 147 had higher volume than today out of those 252 trading days. So this is more volume, I believe, than we saw yesterday. So if we glance at it right here, matter of fact, it's right here. We see where it says previous. So yesterday's volume was around 40 million shares of this ETF. So it had like 30 million shares traded more than yesterday. So the volume is increasing. So that's a technical indicator we want to pay attention to. That's a good sign that the volume is increasing and it was able to push back up from this support and the 9-day simple moving average. That's actually, but it's still kind of low. It's just increasing volume. It's just increasing. It's more than the previous day. It's not actually strong volume yet. It's just more than what the previous day was, okay? So let's go back here. All right, now let's look at today's winners and losers. But first, we're going to look at the losers so we can end the night on a high note. You already know my thing. I don't like looking at the losers last. We don't like looking at the losers last. Let's look at them first. So let's go ahead and go over here to the charts. So we go over to Market Watch on the Thinkorswim platform. I do not have the right watch list pulled up. So we go up here to the watch list section, go down to public S-W, click on S&P 500. We need to change the column set to market recap. And here we are, percentage change. We want to get the loser. And there we are. So the loser for today is ticker Axon, A-X-O-N. We have covered this company, I think, since we started this live stream, maybe 4 times. And I want to be honest, by covering the biggest loser and the biggest winner, regardless of how much they show up on the live stream, I want to be true because that's what I'm saying. I'm bringing to you the biggest winner and the biggest loser. So we're going to do something a little bit different because they've came up so much. We're going to do something a little bit different. So let's focus on what happened today. They lost 9.73%. So if we pull up the calculator, if someone was to invest $1,000 and they suffered that 9.73% loss, we would multiply this times 0.0973, which would bring us to a loss of $97.30. We negate this, add the $1,000 back to it, and it'll show, wait a minute, we just did something that we wasn't supposed to do. Something I didn't do right. $97.30 was the loss. Correct. Then we negate that number. Got it. Now we add 1,000 to it. Got it. There it is. So from that loss, their investment capital of $1,000, they would have $902.70 left from that 9.73% loss. Now, let's look at the, are we looking at the, no, let's go over here to analyze, and then we're going to look at the charts, and then we'll look at their website. Why did this pull up the SPY? Did we not click on that Axon? We clicked on it. It's not linked. That's what the problem is. So we're going to link it. Now, when I click on it, it should update analyze. So the ticker symbol is Axon. They are in the industrials sector. And when I take me off the screen, I'm going to show you the company profile. The company profile, the company name is Axon Enterprise Incorporated. Their website link is right here. It's also down in the description for your convenience. So you can see right here, here is the description for that company. And here's what I mean about doing something a little different. We're going to go to Yahoo Finance. So I'm going to type in Yahoo, blow this up, take that ticker thing off the screen, put me back on the screen. And right here, we're going to click on finance. Now from here, up in the ticker box, we're going to put AXON. Then we select it. Now we're looking at that company on Yahoo Finance. So we can find out information about the company by using this free resource. If you don't have a brokerage account or you don't have Charles Schwab, which is what I use for Thinkorswim, you can use this free resource on Yahoo Finance to find out some of this information. So on the left-hand side of the screen, we're going to go down to profile. And when we go to profile, if we scroll down, we can see that they tell you their website over here. So you can get the website information, or you can scroll down a little bit further, and here is the description for the company. So I'm going to read the first sentence. Axon Enterprise Incorporated provides public safety technology solutions in the United States and internationally. You know what I like about this? If we go over to Thinkorswim, they're going to name the United States. If I'm not mistaken, let me just show you. I want to compare these descriptions. Oh, it was clean. I notice sometimes when we read this part about I'm blocking it. You can't see it. I notice sometimes when we read this part about and internationally, it'll say the United States and then it will name international companies, like maybe 4 or 5 of them, and then say and internationally, like those countries aren't included in international. Like that goes without saying. So it kind of throws me off. But this is where we can find it on the Yahoo Finance website. And again, here's where you can find the website information. So I'm just going to click from here. And we're going to browse over their website again, even though we've done this multiple times. And then we'll go over to the Thinkorswim charts. Let me take this off the screen, put me back up here. So they sell security devices, scanners and things like that. And then if you really want to dive deeper into it, let's say they using words you don't understand, or you like, I have no idea what this stuff is. Use AI, guys. It's a tool. Use ChatGPT, use Gemini, use what's the other one? Claude or whatever. Just go on there and ask these questions and you can get answers to this. But they sell security devices, even drones for surveillance and things like that, tasers, safety things that they can use to protect people, defend people, non-lethal devices, protecting security and things like of that nature. So that's what they specialize in, scanning devices, like I think like TSA scanning, checking things of that nature. I think they have devices and things that do things for that as well. So we're going to look for the company information. Here it is about Axon. And the first time I ran across this company, I was calling them Exxon, like the like the gas or oil energy company, but it's Axon, like an axe, chop, axe. So this is how they're talking about their non-lethal devices, preserving and protecting people. You can click this to browse over, body cams. And they talk about how much paperwork officers have to do. So they try to streamline it and automate it to make it faster. Here's some stats about the company, the number of lives they've saved, how many different uses they've had with their products in the field, how many situations resulted in no serious injuries. So they're really proud of their results, and they putting it right there on that page for you, which is really good. So this is the about company information. So we want to see now. Can you see this? Let me see if I need to zoom in. There's 150. I see careers. It's peeking over my head. So we're going to click careers and see if we can find something about the benefits. So they talk about open roles, how to get hired, the diversity and inclusion, their mission to protect life. I'm looking, guys. I want to see the benefits. There they go. There they go. That's what we want to see. We want to see what do they offer their employees to help boost morale, make the person feel proud, make the employee feel proud to work for the company, because this helps production, in my opinion, with these companies. You don't want disgruntled and people that don't want to really work for you working for you. So they talk about the different benefits that they offer. And I think last time we were talking about said childcare. I knew of a bank that offered childcare reimbursement. So if you were paying for childcare, like daycares and things like that, they would reimburse you for it up to a certain amount. So it's a lot of different benefits that you want to actually look at if you applying, or if you're actually applying for a job, or if you actually looking to invest in a company. But here's where that information is. So we've looked at what they offer, their goods and services. We've looked at what they offer their employees as far as like benefits and things like that. But here's where you find it. The links are down in the description for you to take your time and browse through this a little bit more. We did look at the about company. You can dive in that and read a little bit more on your own. But now I want to go over to the investor section to see what they show on the website. I think I saw that it was a whole nother link at the bottom of the page, but I don't see it on the bottom of this. This is a long bottom. Okay, here we go. Leadership investor site. So here's the ticker information over here to the left. Let me double check to see if they zoomed us in or out. We had 150%. So here's the ticker information, the stock information. They trade on the NASDAQ. I'm looking for the stock quote and the charts. Right here at the top, where it says stock info, you click the down arrow. There's the stock quote. And I think we can click on this as well. So I'm going to try to click on it and see what happens. No, I don't like the way that looks. So let's go up here and see if stock quote takes us somewhere. It does. It takes you somewhere different. This is really limited. This stock quote thing, they got to narrow it down to like ranges. And I don't see an actual chart. So when we clicked on what we just clicked on before, here's interactive chart. Okay, here we go. So that's how you find the chart on their website. But let's go to the Thinkorswim chat platform. So we seen what they offer on the website. We went through enough of that. We got like 3 windows open with them. So go back to Thinkorswim, put this back on the screen. Let's go over to the charts, and we can, ooh, that look nasty. So those last lines, see, we've covered this company before. That's why we see some of these lines already drew as support on here. So I would say the most recent support, since it's broke it, I would say would be right here. But this isn't enough data for me. So I want to zoom out and go back further. So we're going to go back to a 10-year weekly chart and see if we can find some more price levels, which I see them right here. So let's zoom in so I can see where we are. So I'm gonna say this is like a zone because of what this did right here, instead of just putting a support here, because the support is kind of hitting these 2 candles here. That's what I'm seeing. And these are weekly candles. Okay, we're looking at weekly candles. So going from here, if we were to look at the bottom of the wick and the bottom of this wick, they're kind of close. And then let me just put the line there so you can see what I'm saying instead of just moving it. And The open high low close is back on. Okay. So you can see how it's kind of touching there. And then you have like a support over here. So it was tested a few weeks over here a couple of times. So I'm gonna look at this as like a zone. So if we were to actually draw this with the rectangle tool, let me take off the open high low close snap, put that on none, and I'm gonna shade in this zone we have so we can see. I'm gonna say the support and resistance right now is going to be this zone. And we're looking at a week, so we're gonna move this over to the 1 year daily chart. So that's where we are now. And interestingly enough, the 200 week moving average is dancing right around it. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm saying. When we're looking at a weekly chart, these still are 200. They are just weeks now. So this is a 9-week moving average when we're looking at a weekly chart, and this is a 200-week simple moving average when we're looking at the weekly chart. So the white line is 200 and the green line is 9. So it's dancing around the 200-week simple moving average and that support that we drew. But now, so far this week on Tuesday, the closing price is below the 200-week simple moving average and this zone we just drew on the chart. When we go over to the daily chart, we can get a more detailed view by looking at individual days within that week. So when I zoom in, this is Monday. This small green candle right here is Monday, and this is today. This is Tuesday. So in one day, it had insane volume. I'm just glancing at it. I'm not even looking at the numbers yet. I'm just looking at the fact that the top of this volume is higher than all of these. This is a large volume day right here too. But as far as like these recent ones, that's a lot of days below this volume that I'm seeing here, which we're going to discuss in a minute. But as far as today, it had increased volume. It closed below the 9-day simple moving average, the 200-day simple moving average, and below the support and resistance zone that we drew on the chart based on previous price technicals. We didn't just pull this out of thin air. We went back and we looked at zones where the price seemed to be trying to find some type of support or fighting against some type of resistance. So that's what we did there. So today they actually had a 52-week low today. That's what this is when you see that low here. So the 52-week low happened today at $362.73. So let's look at the stock quote for Axon today. So cut the floating data box on. We're going to mouse over it and get this going. So Axon opened today at $409.91. They had a high of $411.49. They had a low of $362.73, and they closed today at $372.87, which was a trading range of $48.76. Now, when we look at the trading volume, we can see down here that the trading volume, they trade 2.1 million shares of this stock today. Now, that might seem like a low number, but we have to look at what's the average trading volume for this in particular stock. So when I take me off the screen and we look over here at the labels, let me take the floating data box off. We're done with this for right now. We can see that the average volume is less than 1 million. It's actually just roughly 700. Let's round this up. 800,000 shares is their average. That's why the volume percentile is so high. They don't even trade more than 1 million shares a day on average. And then on Monday, they traded less than the average volume. They traded around 600,000 shares yesterday. So this is significant volume compared to yesterday. And this drove volume was significantly high on this move going down. So this is serious. This is why you look at both. You look at the volume and you look at the price direction. So this was serious. This was real because it was a move. It was some volume behind this move to the downside and it broke that support that we put up there. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 5 of those days had more volume than today. So that's what I'm seeing with the technicals on Axon. So let's move over back to Market Watch, and we're going to click the percentage change so we can look at the winner for today. We almost done. So ticker symbol PSKY, Paramount, and we've covered Paramount I don't know how many times. We covered them a lot too. They went up 10.66% today. So if someone invested $1,000 from the previous close of $9.85 to the closing price of today, if they invested $1,000, they will be seeing an ROI of $106.60. Let me do the calculation real quick. 1,000 times 0.1066, enter $106.60. That will be the ROI. And then you add that back to the investment capital. So the investment of $1,000 would have grown to $1,106.60. That's what we're looking at. All right, so we did that really quick. Let's go over to analyze for PSKY. The ticker symbol PSKY is in the communications services sector. Now let's look at the company profile. And since we've looked at this company numerous times before, for kicks and giggles, we'll just go ahead and go over to Yahoo Finance and look at the description over there. And we can take this ticker off while we go ahead and do that. That's not the button I'm looking for. That's the button I'm looking for right here. So let's go over to Yahoo Finance, and the ticker is PSKY. So PSKY, there it is. Paramount Skydance Corporation. We can see loading chart. I was about to say they ain't gonna load the chart. So we go over here to profile on the left. Click that, go down to description. There we go. We're just gonna read one sentence. Is the second sentence long? It looked kind of long. Yeah, so we're going to read one. Paramount Skydance Corporation operates as a media and entertainment company worldwide. I like how they didn't name in the U.S. this country, this country, this country, and then internationally, like I talked about earlier. Just worldwide. I like that. Globally. Just wrap it up. Now, here's their website. We click on that. And for your convenience, remember these websites are down in the description. They are a network, guys. They make you watch stuff. They got a bunch of stuff for you to watch. So right here, you can see all of their brands. So here's all the different networks they have. I'm not going to read all of this. The links are down in the description. You can browse through this on your own time. I'm going to quickly go up here and try to see. Here's the About section, careers and investors. So we're going to go ahead and go to About. Tom Cruise up there. Did they zoom us out? Let me try to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, see, they zoomed us out. But this is where they're talking about things about the company, more of what you love. So they saying they have a really diverse, they have a broad selection of things you might want to watch. That's what that's basically covering. Their network reaches billions of subscribers around the world. Paramount, it's kind of blah, blah, blah. So they talk about the global markets, how they're all over the world, the different types of ways that you can view their content as far as streaming, how they advertise, how they market, the people who drive our business. So you can explore their heritage here. Okay, benefits. So when we talk about careers and benefits, here we are right here. We click on benefits. All ladies, success, well-being, Paramount. They got activities for the employees that they work together and they do, securing your financial future. So here's some of the benefits that they offer. So they're talking about the retirement plans, future goals that someone might have, even I've never heard of that, an employee assistance fund. Okay, so if you have something, a life-changing event that could affect you financially in a negative way, they have an assistance fund that they can help you with. Unexpected events like car accidents and things like that. Things to promote your health and wellness. Okay, headspace. I never heard of that. But okay, supporting your family, blah, 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 blah. Employee perks. Look at this. They pay you for riding a bicycle to work. I ain't never seen that. This is why it's so important. Like, I mean, it's so informative to read this stuff. You'll be surprised the type of stuff that they'll pay you for, or benefits and stuff that they have. I ain't even know. Now, it's probably people that work for the company that don't even know this stuff, and it's right on the website. So let's go over to the investor section, and we're looking for the stock information. And did they zoom? Man, all right, we had a 150. It still looks small. We had 150%. It still looks small. Here's the stock information here, the ticker symbol. But I want to see the stock quote and the chart. This doesn't change where I can click on it. So it's not under finance. Here it is, stock information. So let's go to stock performance. And because they have dividend information there, I'm sure that this company pays dividends just based off that, but we're going to look at the Thinkorswim platform and I'll show you how to find it over there. Here's the stock quote. Here's some charts and more tools that you can use dealing with investing. So they have an investment calculator and more data that you can look at on their website. Okay, so that's where we find that. Let's go over to the Thinkorswim platform. We already have PSKY pulled up, Paramount. We're going to go over to the charts. Even though we've looked at them a few times before, I don't remember if we took the financial, what do we call it? The technical analysis off, or I wasn't doing it at that time. Either or, let's go ahead and do some technical analysis really quick. And just with me eyeballing it, I can see that it just broke through support. And if you've been following along for what I look for, I'm going to show you real quick what I'm seeing. So if we put support here, we're looking for where it previously touched. So you see it's at the bottom of the bodies of these candles. So it's on the green candles wick. Let me zoom in. When I'm looking at the support or resistance, I'm looking for multiple times these candles are touching a specific area. I want to I want to connect as many of these as possible. So when I'm doing this, if I use the line tool, if I was to use that and I look over to my right, it's not touching these. So that's what makes me decide, you know what? I need to use a zone, not just a line. That's what I'm judging it off of. So I'm going to change this tool to a zone. And we can go ahead and click the snap. So we're going to go here, cut the open, high, low, close, snap back on, click apply. And then we're going to snap it to the bottom of that red candle and then turn this into more of a zone and bring it all the way over so you can see. So I'm seeing this zone as support and resistance. So now you can see that these multiple candles are touching that zone now. But if I had just drew a line, that wouldn't have been the case. And now let's go to the week. Let's zoom out. Let's go to the weekly chart. So this is a 10-year weekly chart, and we can see, oh my gosh, that it's trading now at historical lows. If we look back here, it's trading at prices that it was in year 2020. So from this line backwards is 2020. And then the very next year in 2021, let me use that tool we like to use. Now remember, we're looking at a weekly chart. I'm putting it at the bottom of this red candle, which was the lowest out of these group of candles, and I'm gonna put it at this high. It didn't snap to the high. So I'm gonna remove this drawing. I'm gonna snap it to the bottom and I'm gonna snap it to the top. Now we're gonna be able to see what this percentage change was right here. And I wanna zoom in. I'm gonna zoom in and I'm gonna put me back on the screen because I don't think I'm blocking it now. And when I mouse over this, from this low to this high, oh my gosh, was an 884% return from this low to this high from the year 2020. And that was the week of March 16th. The date is at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if you can see it because of that ticker. Let me take the ticker off real quick. Can you see that better? Yeah, 316. So March 16th, that's the week of March 16th. So I believe that date is going to be a Monday. So check that. I believe the monthly candles start with, the weekly candles start with the beginning of the week date, the beginning of the week. To this week that we're looking at now, which was when that high happened out of the last 10 years, that week is March 15th. So like a year. It says it exactly. It says 365 days. In 1 year, this stock returned over 884%. Just so you can put this in perspective, let's go ahead and do our $1,000 investment example. So if somebody was to have invested $1,000 at this low, this percentage of 8 would actually start before the decimal. So it would be 8. It would be times it would be times 8.8479. So that $1,000 investment would have received an ROI. So your return on that investment would have been $8,847.90 from a $1,000 investment. So if we add the $1,000 back to it, the total amount, including the investment capital, which is the principal, that's what that's called, would have been $9,847.90. That's insane in a year. Now, the S&P 500 on average does something between 7 and 15%, and they tell you that that's good. And this one stock in 1 year. Now, this don't happen all the time. I just love looking at these charts because it shows you what's possible. Now, remember, it went up, but it also came down, right? So if we looking at down, it came down from that high all the way up there to all the way down here. And now if we mouse over it, that's a 92.17% loss. So it can either go up or it can go down. Now, the short period of time that it went up in a year, but it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 years to come all the way back down here to like $8.62. That is crazy. And it was trading for over $100. So when we looking at the support, we looked at the supports on the yearly chart. The weekly chart. And now we're going back to the 1 year daily chart. We drew our support zone. I would say we can use a line as support to show this area down here. So this would have been, this would be a zone again, just to touch all three of them. I'll draw a zone and show you what I'm saying. This would be the support zone down here. It wouldn't just be a line. So that's the support zone. And then it was trading below the 9-day simple moving average and below the 200-day simple moving average. And it rode that support for a minute. It closed above that 9-day simple moving average, and it's just been moving up ever since on increasing volume. So today they had an increased amount of volume, which we'll go over right now. So we did enough of the technical analysis. Let's go ahead and do the stock quote. We visited their website. I'm trying not to get lost in everything we was doing. We covered a lot. I don't remember if we read the description. But anyway, let's just go ahead and do this from the data box. Let's read the stock quote information. So floating, apply. So PSKY opened today at $9.76. They had a high of $11.15. They had a low of $9.76, and they closed today at $10.90. And that, which was a trading range of $1.39. Now, when we look at the volume, like we talked about, they traded 37.9 million shares of this stock today. But that looks like a big number, but we need to look at what their average trading volume is for this in particular stock. Let me cut off this floating data box. Their average trading volume is 11.3 million shares. So this is almost 3 times what they normally trade on average. So when we look at the volume rank percentile, it traded 96.4% as far as like the volume rank percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 9 of those days had higher volume than today. So they had increased volume that pushed this move through this resistance area. So now this resistance area becomes support, and it broke through it on convincing volume, which matters. It would be questionable if it had broke through it on very low volume, but it went through on high volume. Okay. So that's where we at with that. Let's go here. Let's go here. I did better today. I cut down on my okays, my all rights, and all of that stuff. I feel good. The show ran a little long, but I believe that's because I screwed up at the beginning. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in and sticking with me. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. If you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the whole life insurance link I have down in the description, and make sure you tune in weekdays following the market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And stay tuned for when I go live during the daytime when the market is open. I plan on doing that around noon. It's not going to be a set schedule because my life is crazy and chaotic in the morning, but stay tuned for when you see me go live in the morning, because we're going to be monitoring what's going on and discussing things and chatting about the stock market while it's actually open. It's called the market hour. So stay tuned. Take care, and God bless.